Everyone say, it's possible.
It's possible.
All right, how many of you are hungry? Are you hungry? Now, I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about vision. When you have vision, it's easy. It flows. Let me tell you a quick story about being hungry. Conrad Hilton, the founder of Hilton Hotels, is one of my great kind of idols in a way in terms of building something in this great country. He was a young man. He went to World War I. He came home. He had this vision of starting a little hotel company. He bought his first hotel in Corpus Christi, Texas. And it didn't take long. The Depression and so forth was all playing a role at this time. He almost lost everything. He took a little trip, however, up to New York City. And he went to visit the renovation of the Waldorf Astoria. Here he was broke, almost lost everything, almost went bankrupt. But he went to this opening house for the renovated Waldorf Astoria. And he sat there in the ballroom. And he started thinking to himself, what makes it that someone is successful? What is the determining factor that separates the achievers from the underachievers, if you will? And he thought about it, and he went to his two sons. They traveled up with him, and he said, what do you think the key to success is? One of his sons said, well, it's talent. It has to do with, you're either born with it or maybe you don't, right? It's luck in a sense. And his other son said, I think it's prayer. Mom and Dad taught us to pray. So if we pray hard enough, we'll get the results that he wanted. He writes in his book, he says, I didn't really think that either one of those was the right answer. And he says, as I was sitting there in that ballroom that day, it dawned on me. He said, you have to dream. That was the starting point of all success. The ability to dream. Now here's an interesting thing. When you dream about something, that does not mean you have the evidence of success in front of you. You act on the unknown. So what did he do? He went outside of the Waldorf Astoria, broke. He had a picture taken of himself, a selfie back then. Picture taken of himself against the Waldorf Astoria. And he wrote on that little picture, quote, the greatest, talking of the Waldorf Astoria, the greatest of them all. I will one day own that hotel. He went back to Corpus Christi. 15 years later, he bought the Waldorf Astoria. I think it's amazing. You've got to be willing to dream. Are you hungry?